To be aware means to be self-conscious and monitor the things that you're allowing yourself to consume on the daily basis, because over time, these things will naturally start to become who we are. Once I learned that our experiences reflect our identity, I started to be way more intentional of the environments that I allowed myself in. I started to be way more intentional of the things that I allowed myself to go through, simply because I didn't want those things to be a representation of who I was. I didn't want those things to add baggage. And this really reminds me of a comment that I got the other day on my video on comfortability. If y'all haven't seen that, go watch that video. But somebody commented and they said that they love being in their comfort zone and they haven't experienced any traumas or really any real hardships, and they're over 60 years old or around 60 years old. And then it made me come to the conclusion that the reason why we're even at a point where we feel like we need to get out of our comfort zone is because we've allowed our comfort zone to be a place of complacency. We've allowed our comfort zone to be a place where we go and we're not practicing productivity. And what this person was saying is that they've been very much so productive in their comfort zone, and they've been able to do whatever it is that they wanted to do with their life, but just being comfortable has kept them sane. And this completely changed my perspective on it, because it made me realize how much we tend to put ourselves in these positions to categorize certain fields in our life where we don't even have to, bro. We don't have to treat our comfort zone as a place of complacency where we're not practicing productivity. Our experiences are truly a reflection of our identity. The things that we allow ourselves to go through ultimately reflect who we are. And I understand that we all have different belief systems, but one thing that connects all of us is the fact that we all have something that we desire. We all have an identity and we all represent something. And with that being said, I feel like that's why it's so important for us to be open-minded. It's extremely important for us to be able to go out in different environments and not pass judgment on anybody. Because the times in my life where I felt like I was most judgmental were the times where I felt like I was most damaged. Those were the times in my life where I felt like I had the most going on with myself, so I wanted to criticize each and everyone around me to make myself feel better. And that's when I really learned that judging people really decreases your value. If you feel the need to have to go out and express the way that you feel about the next person's life in a negative way, then it really shows a lot about who you are on the inside. It really shows a lot about the things that you're putting value into, because just as easily as you gave your opinion on it, you could have left it alone. But just because you have an opinion doesn't necessarily mean that you need to express that opinion. Just because you have a thought or an idea doesn't necessarily mean that everyone needs to hear about it. I'm here to tell y'all that, after that comment, it's okay to not live a life full of traumas. It's okay to not live a life full of hardships. The key takeaway in this is being able to learn from other people's mistakes, being able to witness the things that other people went through, and thinking to yourself like, hey, I don't have to go through this because they shared their opinion on it, they shared their experience, and I could learn from that to completely avoid the trauma that comes with it. Because there is trauma from the things that you go through. When you go to the military, most people come out with PTSD. All of that stuff is traumatizing. But the fact that you could hear the stories, you could learn a lot of the lessons just based off the stories that they tell you. You don't have to allow yourself to go through the same stuff that they went through, bro. And this is why I feel like it's super important to, at some point in your life, have a mentor. At some point in your life, have somebody that you could speak to, somebody that's a little wiser than you, somebody that's experienced more than you have, and really being able to pick their brain and learn from everything that they may have learned from, during their younger ages. But just keep in mind that you're in control of building your new identity. You're the only one in control of making yourself into the person that you want to be. Your experiences, the positions that you put yourself in, Those are all things that you have control of. Majority of people don't just tell you what to do with your life. Usually you probably make decisions based on your logic and what you want to do. And with that being said, shape your experiences in a way that's going to bring the most out of your life and be the less traumatizing for your life. You don't have to carry all this extra baggage around, bro. And just keep in mind that cycles only repeat if you allow them to. I can name anything that I've went through in my life that was really traumatizing, bro. And if I continue to allow myself to go through those things, I've probably gotten the worst PTSD from them because I didn't make up my mind to change the cycle. And once I finally did wake up and I decided to move different and do different, then I realized that all of the power was in my hands. Anything that I go through in my life usually is something that I chose to go through. And the reason why I say that I chose to go through is because I probably put myself in a position to experience whatever it is that I'm going through at that moment. And we don't usually understand this because so many people are running from the idea of taking accountability because nobody wants to be responsible. Nobody wants to look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, this happened because of something that I did, but I'm gonna own up to it right now and I accept it for what it is. Because when you take accountability for something, then it's all on you at that point. You don't have anybody else to blame, and we have to live our life this way. Not pointing the finger, but really just looking in the mirror and being able to hold ourselves to that standard that we should be holding ourselves to. But if you made it to the end of the video, man, I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, drop a comment. The comments keep me going when y'all engage with me, bro. Because otherwise, I just be on here talking to myself. But I appreciate y'all once again. It's your boy Blue J Tay, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.